Hey everyone, Owlvine here. This week on Starting Out Solitary, we're talking about working with candles. So candles are probably my most used tool in my practice. I really like fire, I love flame. They're a wonderful way to set atmosphere as well. To me, they have a real magical atmosphere all of their own to them. And they're usually quite inexpensive too. You can get ones that are a lot more expensive, of course, but you can find a lot that are very cheap. Some of my favourite candles to use, and the ones that I use most often, are Tealight candles. These are really inexpensive and you can find them pretty much anywhere. And this one's quite large. It's a 9-hour burning candle, but you can get 6, 3 hours, 1 hour burning candles. These are nice for specific spell workings because they do burn out quite quickly. They're also great to use in candle holders. So for me, this candle holder has a particular sort of energy to it that I use it for. This is called my spirit candle. So usually if I'm connecting to any kind of spirit or communicating with a spirit, I'll use this candle with a tea light in there like that. I use all kinds of candles, just whatever I have around for spell working. So this is one that I received probably a few years ago before I actually ended up using it. And I just have this sitting in my space here and use that as well for my creative work. Now I've got this working candle. Now working candles are usually candles that you use ongoing, regularly to set a particular atmosphere. So for this one, this is my creative candle. So I have this sitting in my space here, and each time that I do any artwork, I light this candle. And this is to set the atmosphere and get me in state of creativity. So I build my energy before I light this. Every time I build my energy up and I get into that state of creativity, and I build the energy up large, and once I'm feeling that it's at that peak, then I light the candle. And that just sets a really beautiful atmosphere for the work that I'm wanting to do. And I've noticed now that each time I do this, getting into that peak state is easier because each time I pick up this candle, each time I use this candle, I'm making sure that I'm energetically in that space, and it's really helpful for doing that sort of work. Working candles also, many people have them on their altars too, for each time they sit down to do any kind of magical working, or they may use it for spiritual working as well. Sometimes I also like to use shaped candles, so I have a couple of these ones here. This is a raven candle from Elixir of Light, and I really like this. I work with the Morrigan, so I feel like these are absolutely perfect for her. This one I've burnt down already. And these ones don't burn very far. You can sort of use them as melts if you wanted to in oil burners, but I don't. I like to keep it. I've got this sitting on a little shrine that I have at the moment, so I enjoy sort of the shape of it as well. It's something that I can kind of keep too, so that's cool. You can also purchase candles from other witches that are already infused with energy and magical ingredients. So I have this one from Starry Eyed Supplies here. These aren't necessary at all, but sometimes they're really nice to have in your practice. It kind of sometimes can give a little extra boost, you know, because it already has someone's energy infused into it as well. When you are purchasing candles like this, just make sure you kind of are aligned with the energies that are infused with them. I like to kind of know a little bit about the witch who has made the candles as well, and just sort of see if their energies align with mine, but of course that's not necessary. Each time I use candles, I pour my own energy into them anyway. I always make sure I do that, because magic is about what's within you. You know, you are the magic. You create the magic. It's not the tools themselves. Tools are wonderful symbols and focuses for your magic, but they are not going to create any kind of change or magical happenings. That's really about you. So no matter when I use a candle, whether it's just, you know, a tea light from a cheap $2 store, or if it's a candle that someone else has made, I always pour my energy into it to get that magic happening before I light the candle. That's personally how I do it. You can also anoint them with oil. This is a little oil from Starry-Eyed Supplies again. I was using these two candles, these two items like just yesterday, so I've got them sitting here. And this is infused again with another witch's energies and with magical items already, so I really love this. I usually don't make my own oils at the moment, so I've just got a couple around that I've purchased and I like to use those. So the way I use them is sometimes I just kind of dot some oil around the top of the candle. Sometimes you can also anoint a whole candle if you've got candles more like this. You can roll these in herbs as well if you want to use herbs for magical correspondences for a working or something like that. Just a note, if you are using dried herbs in or on a candle, make sure you don't leave it unattended and make sure that you put it on some kind of heat-proof dish, because I have had, you know, like different things light on fire as they sort of burn down, so just make sure that it's not left alone. Another thing I like to do, and that I do quite regularly with my candles, is I'll inscribe something on the top. So I might draw a symbol or some words or something like that, maybe for a particular working that I'm doing, or if I'm using a working candle, which is an ongoing candle, perhaps for that particular time that I'm wanting to use it. Or I'll often draw a pentagram. That's a symbol that means a lot to me and sort of just means magic to me, so I use that a lot. Most of the time when I'm inscribing on candles, I'll just draw on the top of them. So some of them you can only draw on the top anyway, so I'll just draw on the top. And what I like about that, even if it is a candle that can be drawn on the sides, is that it burns out each time. The wax melts and each time you get a fresh start with it. So here I've got just a thorn from a tree on my property that I really like using because it's nice and sharp. Or quite commonly I use the end of incense sticks. These are great because I use incense all the time. I think many of us do. So I have a few of those around and they're really nice to write with. You can also use your nail or a pen or just anything sharp that you feel that you've got available, or that you feel sort of is a good correspondence for you as well. So these are some ways that I use candles. I would love to hear about how you guys use candles if you do in your practice, and I will see you next week on Starting Out Solitary. So much love.